All right. Well, then let's go in 3, 2, 1.
They're going to like punch me. Like a little 3, 2, 1, boom.
3, 2, 1.
You are southpaw. Hey everybody, welcome to Falcons Corner, voice of the Falcons. No Berg.
No, sitting in.
Berg SID. So less camera stuff for you to set up.
Yeah, that is the beauty of this.
Yes.
I miss Danny. I like having him on the show, but there's less for me to do.
Less for you to do, less microphones to hook up, all that other stuff. Danny is home preparing for his big trip to Iowa.
Yeah.
As he accompanies our wrestlers on his yearly voyage to Council Bluffs, Iowa.
Taking flight, you know?
Yes. So he'll be traveling out. So we'll miss him.
We will.
I shed a tear for him yesterday when he said he wasn't going to be here today.
It's gonna be. It'll be fun. Hopefully, it'll be fruitful for him. You know?
So speaking of tournaments, we host the Region 19 Championships. Electric atmosphere Thursday and Saturday for all the games, even with teams that weren't from Lackawanna.
Yeah, I mean,
so it was a really great 2 days.
We had a really good Thursday night game between Rickert and Morris.
Yep.
That came down to more or less. It came down to a last-second shot.
Yep.
That Rickert won, and then on Saturday we had the 2 championship games, and with Union and Harcum women, 2 teams that really
2 nationally ranked
teams that have no connection up here.
Right.
Had a pretty good crowd.
Nice crowd, yeah.
You know,
it was.
And it was 2 entertaining championship games that we were able to have on Saturday, and even Thursday night, an electric atmosphere for the second semifinal.
Yeah.
With us in Middlesex.
Yep.
That really nice showing from the men's team in that game, and so close on Saturday in the region championship.
Yeah, so women had a hard time against Harcum, as we thought maybe they had some size and probably not the outcome that we wanted, but
yeah, some girls that didn't play when they lost here in November.
Right.
Their big girl Amber Bullard and Sophia Vitucci, their guard that they were missing.
Right.
So 2 pretty key.
I would say they're probably their 2 best players.
I think so.
Yeah.
They obviously make a big difference.
Yeah.
And just not good enough shooting for us. Didn't make enough shots early to stay in it, and then aren't built to come back from that.
Yeah. So, but I would say a successful season.
Absolutely.
A bunch of wins, more than we've had in a while, and talking to medium boss Josh Pardini. I think they had the highest GPA they've had as a team, in the fall semester for a women's basketball team in quite some time too.
Which is great.
So a lot of positive with the women. So congratulations to them on the season. They obviously didn't play on Saturday since they lost, to Harcum on Thursday. But like I said, a great women's championship game. The Thursday night game for the men, Nick Marabito got us off to a really great start, hitting down like 4 or 5 threes early in that contest, and then we were able to hang on against Middlesex in a jam-packed student union.
Yeah, it was it was tight there for a minute because Nick kind of kept us in it, but we were down by 1 at halftime, and then Middlesex was up by 6, I think it was, or it might have been. It was 6 at one point. It was like 48-42, and Jairi had 2 big dunks.
Yeah, and that really got the crowd going.
It kind of got everybody woke up a little bit. He tried to go for a third and lost it. I asked him afterwards. He was like, "Yeah, I just fell out of my hands." And then Evan went nuclear. He had 22 points in the second half. He had 6 3-pointers.
Yep.
I had people that were unaffiliated with the school that came to watch it that were messaging me afterwards saying, "I've never seen that before." That was crazy. So just a really, really great performance. And the students most of the students weren't able to be there on Saturday, so this was like their last chance to see the guys in action on Thursday night, and they got a real good show.
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed being there. Great win, which led to Saturday, which led to a great loss. A chance to win at the buzzer. Leybourne Bodies runner just a little long at the buzzer to win it, and lost by 1. But like I said, from where they were early in the season, watching them scrimmage to where they finished at the season, Coach Fallon did a great job with those guys. And I would say, as disappointing as it was very exciting into their season.
It's why we love sports, right? The thrill of the victory and the agony of the defeat, and like Evan scored 30.
Can you get that guy falling down the ski slope, skiing and over the thing like they used to do on Wide World of Sports?
Evan scored 30 again. Nick had 23. Nick had, I think it was 17 in the second half. So he kind of came alive in the second half when we needed him, and just some mistakes down the stretch. And hey, Raritan's now the 3-time defending champion. Right. They're there for a reason, and they made the plays they needed to down the end there to take the lead, and we just couldn't hang on as far. We got 2 good looks, just couldn't knock them down.
That's it. Yeah. So great season. Congratulations to Coach Ryan and their guys. I mentioned to Danny and Josh Friday, I was like, well, Coach Ryan seemed very calm on the bench for such a close game in that Morris game. He made up for it on Saturday. So congratulations to him for adding a little excitement. I love seeing him get all fired up. Between him and Coach Fallon yelling and screaming,
it's the best.
And sitting between the two of them, it is terrific.
It's the best.
It's terrific.
It's the best. They're entertaining, and it made it's great. It's funny. We had it felt like a championship. It was very loud in the student union, even without a bunch of our students there.
So. It's still a great crowd. Without having there were still some students hanging around, and they showed up. Maybe a couple dozen, but a great tournament. So it was fun. And then we just rebuilt for next year, men's and women's.
That's
see what happens.
That hopefully some of the first year players that got a taste of it, remember that feeling of the loss, and we'll kind of use that as motivation into the off season and to get ready for next year.
Right, and best of luck to our men and women, our graduating sophomores who will be moving on to bigger and better things.
Yeah, 7 or 8 women are moving on. Sophomore class that was really kind of Monica's. I don't want to say her first sophomore class, obviously, Nariah Turner, but it's her first one that she's. Bless you.
Woo! All right.
Oh boy.
That could have been real bad. There's a lot of force behind that one.
But she had Nariah.
When you're old, right, and you sneeze, it hurts. So you got to brace yourself. And
you never know when it's going to be the end at that point, right?
Exactly. So you never. So thank you for being there. All right.
But she had Nariah Turner as kind of her first freshman to sophomore that she kind of ushered through. But this was her first quote unquote class that she's seen the whole way through. So a lot of these girls have contributed a lot to the program, and to kind of see them go is heavy, and then even some of the guys on the guys' side, a lot of them are sophomore transfers or whatever it was, but had immediate impacts on this year's team, and were great personalities and good guys to get to know and have around the program. And Kirk's got some pieces that he'll hopefully be able to retain and bring back. And there's this is junior college, right? You got to rebuild every year.
That's it, every year. It makes it tough for them. But congratulations to basketball staffs and players and stuff too. So
absolutely.
And then let's just keep rolling here with what we got going on, because we're basically at the end of winter sports and spring sports have kicked off. Baseball traveled to Bel Air, Maryland to play Hartford. Lost a couple heartbreakers to Division I Hartford. So I want to say there's no such thing as a good loss, but maybe an encouraging loss.
I talked to Coach McCary yesterday about it, and I was a little hesitant to bring it up. Right. You lose games.
Well, yeah, when you lose, especially late.
He said, Tom, the weather conditions we faced on Saturday were things that we will never face again, because it was 56 and sunny in game 1. And he said, typical coach, I'll wear the game 1 loss.
Right.
We could have made some differences here and there. He said game 2, at one point we were up 7-3, whatever it was.
It was 6 or 7 runs.
Yeah, it might have been 7-1. And he said the coach from Hartford goes to him, Mike, the real feel is 9 degrees. So the temperature shot down. It was 54-mile-an-hour gusts down there. So there was stuff blowing all over the field. And he said his pitchers couldn't feel their hands. So he had one, I think it was Zach Ruffin was throwing strikes.
Right.
but he couldn't keep him in because he couldn't feel his hands anymore.
That could be a problem.
And he had to keep cycling through pitchers, and he would pitch them as long as they could feel things. And that was it.
Said, oh, goodness.
So so it's pretty much burned the tape on that one.
Right, yeah.
But Coach McCary, despite the losses, seemed encouraged with what he saw from his guys. And I know they're supposed to play at Frederick. I don't think that's going to happen weather-wise on Wednesday, today when you're watching this. So I think they're probably going to punt until the weekend when they take on Monroe. So they've got a little time maybe to ramp themselves back up.
Yeah, and stuff too. So I was talking to my son, former Falcon, forever Falcon. He's like, oh, Lackawanna beat Hartford. I was like, no, dude. He's like, I saw it was 7-1 in the 7th, and I was like, no, they lost by 1. So, but I'll have to tell him that there was
some adverse conditions.
Some adverse conditions and stuff too. So softball not facing adverse weather conditions as they're a little bit further south. I know their first day in Myrtle was in the 70s, and they played in some 55, 60-degree weather the last 2 days, and they are 2-2 on the season.
Yeah, a couple splits, and played well in about, I would say, 3 of the 4 games. Yeah. Honestly, they
the 1-11-0.
Yeah,
looks like it.
Against Schoolcraft, where they were getting people on base, just couldn't
do
anything with it.
Right.
Fell behind to Danville area, came back to make it a game, ended up losing 10-6, but beat Fayetteville pretty handily in their first game.
Yep.
Really good game, really good start for Brianna Denise.
Yep.
And then yesterday, or I should say on Monday, they fell behind. It was back and forth, and then they ended up pulling out a win against Olney Central in extra innings.
Right. It was good to see Mia Scalise bounce back because she took the loss in that first game and came back and was able to close it out and get a save.
Right, get a save, help Jillian Heimberger out, and also had a couple hits. And Gracie Sokol had the big hit in the 8th inning with a 2-run double or a 2-run triple, excuse me.
And Emily Mowry has been contributing. I think she's had 2 or 3 hits in most of the games in those 4 games and stuff too.
She's been great. It's been pretty. It's funny. There hasn't really been anybody that I've looked at that's been outstanding yet. It seems like everybody has been contributing at least to start.
Right. Yep. And I did when I was watching the game. Lindsay Tasker. I like to mention our local kids. Not that I don't care about our other kids.
Right.
But she made a great play up the middle at second base and threw out a runner to save a couple runs in one game too. So, so they're off and rolling, and hopefully Coach Pitt is. I want to say he's not frowning, not smiling. He's 2-2, and he's just got just a regular grin.
Even keeled, right?
Yes.
And they've got doubleheaders. We're filming on Tuesday. They got a doubleheader today with Lincoln Trail and Hartford. They got a doubleheader Wednesday, doubleheader Thursday, and a doubleheader Friday before they come home. So plenty of softball.
They'd be playing. And I know the weather, I think, is going to get even nicer the longer they're there.
That's good. That's good because I know last year, towards the end of the week, it started raining a lot.
I was there, Ferg, and Coach Pitt blames me.
That's right. It was your fault.
Yes, it's
I
my
forgot.
fault. Yes.
So now we know the weather's going to be fine because you're many miles away.
I am many miles away, and I am not traveling south in the next couple of days to watch my son. So.
Though I'm concerned what that means for us up here.
We'll see.
Can you affect the weather up here?
I can.
Is that why it's so rainy up here? Why it's always so miserable up here?
It's probably the case.
Probably part of it, right?
Listen, if Michael gets healthy, then I'll be gone, and weather be crappy wherever I'm going, and and it'll be nice here.
Right.
All right, let's take a break. You may be talking to people, we may not, and then we'll talk about wrestling real fast.
Yeah, students aren't here, but I'm hoping to talk to Connor on deck from wrestling because we want to talk about what's coming up this weekend.
Good. All right, we'll be back in Falcons Corner. Take flight. Hey everybody, we are back on the Falcons. You didn't give me a countdown.
You ran right into it.
Let's go. I got stuff to do today. It's a busy day. Right. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Falcons Corner. I don't know where we're at, but voice of the Falcons, Berg SID.
That's
me. Wrestling travels. They leave Wednesday. They fly in Wednesday tomorrow, today. flying out Wednesday to Constable Files. They wrestle Thursday or Friday? Did they get a day
They start on Friday.
Friday, that's what I thought. So they get a day of practice on Thursday. This is when we need Danny, to give us the whole schedule and stuff, too.
I believe the travel day is Wednesday, if I remember correctly, because that's why he's not here today.
Right.
Because he's leaving Wednesday.
Well, he's got to pack all his beauty items and his
Yeah,
hair
you
care
gotta look
products and
nice,
all that, his
yeah.
suit.
A suit. I think they get in. They practice. They kind of have like I'm sure like a pre-event dinner, that kind of thing. And then Friday morning it kicks off.
Good.
They start wrestling, and I think it's 10 different mats going on, and they try to whittle things down from there. The brackets got released. I know, just talking to Danny briefly on Monday, Connor on deck has a pretty favorable draw.
Okay, good.
Matt Gashi-Brito also has a pretty favorable draw
All right.
in terms of where he can go, and then we'll see what John and Adon and Eddie can do as far as their various brackets. But I know John Karoma wants to do something a little better than what he did last year.
Right.
That's his hope, and
Yep.
he's been trying to get healthy and get ready for it.
Good.
So.
Yeah, and it's just the excitement of being in a large arena with all of that action going on and stuff too. It's exciting for the guys, especially for our first year guys.
Yeah, think of like Connor and Adon and Matt. They've all competed at like tournaments around the area, different regions and all that, but haven't been in anything like this.
And if people want to watch Ferg, what do they do?
The NJCAA network.
All right.
But we'll have the posts on our social media, on our previews and all that, as far as the where to go and where to watch and how to watch and all that.
Good. All right. Well, best of luck to wrestling. Coach Fox, as we always like to say, travel safely. Hopefully they get out there with no delays or nothing like that. Speaking from Mr. Airport Delay himself. So hopefully everything goes smoothly and they're not late. If I was traveling with them, they'd probably miss their match on Friday. For sure.
They just got to get through Charlotte if that's where they're going. I know Danny, I think maybe was connected through Chicago or something like that, so I think he's going to be okay.
I think he had a couple short connections though too. So we'll keep our fingers crossed for everyone. I know how that feels and stuff too. So, all right, and I'm sure we just talk about weather all the time. I'm sure the weather in Council Bluffs is going to be beautiful. Maybe they could wrestle outside.
maybe they'll rip the roof off and do it there.
Why not, right? All right. Well, best of luck to everyone. And then if you want, I know our softball games are being live streamed. So if you want to tune in and watch softball, you've been posting the links on those. And then baseball at Monroe, I know they always do a stream and stuff too. So that's going
on their YouTube channel. And we should mention, weather permitting right now, this coming Sunday will be our home opener for baseball.
Yes, so we're just traveling up the road a little. Instead of down the road, we're going up the road a little bit.
Going to Shouts, and they'll be hosting Onondaga as long as everything works out.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
We'll
Sounds
see.
good. All right.
Yeah.
And we'll watch that too, right?
Well, we'll be there.
All right.
We'll be there broadcasting it. That's what the hope here.
How exciting. How exciting. So, all right. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Have a great week. We'll see you next week in the Falcons Corner. Take flight.